Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about how to produce a movie the right way. Being a producer really forces you to be creative yet logistical, making sure you get the paperwork done and you're the one basically making things happen in the background. Everything starts off with the script. Making sure you have a good story is always key, and you gotta work with your writer and your director to make sure their script is the best that it could be. So the film that I recently produced was a movie called Amon. It's a French movie about a boy and his grandmother, and basically the grandmother is illiterate, so the boy always translates the letters for her, and one day he gets a letter that says that she's gonna die from cancer soon. It's a very beautiful yet tragic story, and I absolutely loved it when I was reading the script, and I thought it was definitely a story worth telling, and it was quite personal to the writer and director. So after you have a good script, you're gonna start looking for locations. So for our location, we had a house and a church, and I was really happy that our director is quite producer minded, and she was doing a lot of cold callings, and we were looking at Gigster, and we found two places that were perfect for this film. We actually got this one church off of Gigster, and one thing you gotta keep in mind is everything you can negotiate. So this church was charging way more, and I got the price to be half off. You have to be able to not be scared to talk the price down. I think that's very huge when it comes to producing. Besides locations, I think your cast and crew is very important, finding the right people for the job. We already had a DP already, but we found more assistant directors, an art team, a camera team, just reaching out to people and having a list of people that you like working with. I think it's quite important, and just building these relations on set, I think it's also very important. And then for casting, obviously cast the best people you can possibly get. Obviously it was a little tricky finding a little boy actor who can speak French, and also like old grandmother, it was also speak French, and LA wasn't the easiest thing, but we were able to do it, and they worked very well. So this film is a USC film school film, so we had to do a lot of paperwork. And a lot of indie projects, you can probably get away with not doing some paperwork, but it is still recommended, just because a lot of times when you have a permit, when security pulls up, you're not scared, you have the paperwork for it. So for this film, we had to get obviously location permits, giving a form to the location owner to sign that says we're allowed to film here and we're allowed to use your place for this movie. Also, this goes into the Film LA stuff, getting permits from the city. Even if apparently if you film in your own house, you still have to reach out to Film LA. This is like the right way of doing it. Sometimes I feel like it's kind of a scam, but we don't have to get to that. And then making sure you have the safety forms. We have to do a thing with our production office, basically saying the hazard that might happen on set and our plan to prevent anything from happening. And also we had a lot of crew that was just volunteering, just our friends, so we had to get them to all sign volunteer agreements, also getting them to sign an emergency form, which also states like what they're allergic to, their emergency contact, getting all those sorted out. And then we had to get an actor release form for the grandmother actor, and also had to get a minor release form for the kid, and also making sure the kid had a work permit so that we can get a studio teacher for the kid. And then we had to get like a confirmation from the studio teacher and the kid as a paperwork. And then we also had to get the studio teacher's like ID and also his like studio teacher permit. And then for the music, since we're using a song that already existed, we had to get a pre-existing music release form, and also we had to get a musician's release form for the composer and all the live musicians that performed for the score. Last but not least, we had the proof of insurance that we had through our school. So I mean, the school helped us a lot with a lot of the paperwork, but at the end of the day, like as producers, you have to get all the logistical, technical, legal stuff out of the way. So then it was off to prepping the equipment. I had to pick up a lot of the gear we wanted to use, like the dolly, slider, and most of the gear we already had from the school, so we had that ready.
Hi, buddy. Hi.
And then figuring out catering is also a big part of producer's job, just figuring out like what people are allergic to, sending out forms for them to fill out. Like if you want to get like, let's say Chipotle, send out a form with the different options that they can fill You know, Google Forms is a great way of doing it, and just making sure like you're keeping everything organized is very important. All the paperwork and also the crew and cast list, so you have everyone's contact information. You can send out like an email blast for them to basically respond to and tell you what they can and cannot eat. And if you weren't able to do that in time, what I had to do was on set, like during film, like right before filming started, I was going around to everybody being like, what do you want in your kava order, right? And then also, this is kind of the assistant director's job, but also it's important for the producers to know how to do it, is sending out a call sheet with everyone's information, location, and what time they have to be on set, the nearest hospital, everything on there. And also making sure you have a flow of days, so you know like how you want to schedule the days of filming to make sure you get everything in time. Very important to work with the DP and the director on those. Alright guys, it's day one of filming and I am so excited to be on set with everybody. We are ready. Look how packed my car is. Yeah, so the day one we filmed at a church. It worked really well. It was just very few quick scenes and it looked really good. I was really happy with how it turned out. This is kind of like a scene where the kid imagines him at the grandmother's funeral. And then we were filming day two at the house. We already came the day before to black out the curtains since it was a night scene and lit everything. We left some equipment at the house. We were filming with the kid and the grandmother. Beautiful performances. And then day three was also more of the same thing as day two, just more of the conversation between the kid and the grandmother.
Can you hear anything? Wait, you try. I want Mark.
Yeah. Perfect.
And then after we filmed and wrapped, got everything returned, I started editing the film because the producer for this project, according to the school, we have to edit. And it was a little hard at first because it was all spoken in French, but I was kind of like watching the script while editing. So I kind of figured out and pieced everything together and it actually turned out really good. I was really happy with the editing of it. We used Avid and I thought it was pretty fun to edit.
Okay, great. Faster, like. Okay, one more.
And then another thing in post for producers to do is the poster and also the marketing. So just putting it out there like on social media, having like a website maybe, designing like graphics for it. Also just, you know, having social media presence I think is quite important. And then putting it on the movie database so it appears on Letterboxd and IMDb. I have videos on how to do both of those things. After everything was done, we screened the movie at the Norris Theater and everyone really liked it. Everyone was lining up to talk to the director. And I was just really happy to bring this film to life, you know, making it from a story, like a concept, all the way to an actual film. So yeah. And if you guys wanted to see my week in the life of the week of production on this film, then check out this video right here. And I'll see you guys there. Peace out.